guys, Nick from Arch City Poker and ArchCityPLO.com. In today's video, we're going to talk about navigating multi-way pots. So there's going to be a few adjustments we need to make, and multi-way pots are kind of tricky because players they play too many hands pre-flop, and so we end up in a lot of times these 3, 4, 5, 6-way pots, and it happens quite a bit in the live low to mid stakes games. It happens in lower stakes online games as well. What we need to do is decrease our betting frequencies because it's just too likely that somebody in the hand has hit the flop really hard. So we don't bet as often in these spots, but when we do bet, we generally bet with very strong made hands, hands that can get value from worse and maybe need a little protection. We also bet with nutty combo draws, nut flush draw plus gutter, flush draw plus nut straight draw, those types of hands. We can also include some pretty weak draws, like I would say gut shots, really low to borderline middling flush draws, so maybe 8 high, 9 high flush draw or worse. And then maybe a non-nut open ender. So some of these weaker to middling draws, we can save those for our checking range and maybe our calling range if there was a bet into us. Because if we're betting all of these draws, and we're probably going to be betting a little bit too often multi-way. So to recap, use very strong hands at the top of your range. Use really nutty combo draws, very powerful draws, so to speak. And then you can use some weaker draws in general. Save some of the middling draws for your more passive lines, your check call line or your calling line against the lead, so to speak. There is one exception to the rule with made hands. You can use, I would say sometimes use some middling top paired types of hands, maybe an overpair to the board that needs a little protection, let's say 8, 5 deuce, you have pocket tens. That would be a combo that I probably would bet since there's so many overcards that can come that opponents can realize their equity on or with, so to speak. They catch up in the hand. So I think some of those top pair or kind of marginal overpaired types of hands, I would go ahead and probably bet those at a decent frequency to get some protection, to deny some of your opponent's equity. The good thing about this too is, especially if you're out of position and it's multi-way, your bet is going to leverage the other players against each other. Because let's say the player that is to your immediate right, whoever's going to be last to act, he is going to have a pretty good position in this spot because the players that are in between you and that player, they're going to have to act pretty straightforward for the most part, or they will act pretty straightforward because they still have at least one player left to act that they have to worry about that hasn't acted yet, on top of your bet and your range that they have to worry about. So mix in some of those marginal top pair hands that need a little protection, mix in some of the overpairs that need a little bit of protection, but mainly focus on very strong made hands, very strong draws, and then really weak draws. Like I said, the middling draws, put those in your checking range or just your calling range. And I think if you guys can focus on constructing your betting and checking ranges as such, as suggested in this video, then I think you're going to be in pretty good shape in these multi-way pots. And one thing to keep in mind as well, guys, this is very important. Make sure that your pre-flop game is very sound because the ultimate way to exploit these populations and win a lot of money in these multi-way pots is simply by entering with a range that's going to be stronger than your opponents on average. You just need to outflop them more often. You need more absolute hand strength in these multi-way pots. So set yourself up for success with a solid pre-flop range. Follow those post-flop suggestions, and I think you guys will see a nice increase in win rate in these multi-way pots. If you have any questions or thoughts, go ahead and let me know in the comment section. Visit ArchCityPLO.com. I now have no limit content, along with the awesome PLO content that I have on that site now. If you have any questions about that, contact me. But otherwise, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video with your friends if you think that it can help them out, and I will see you guys in the next video.